I am the first to concede, and I've said this and I've conceded it in public, that I don't think we are doing well in Parliament, especially the 13th Parliament. I am not here to apologize. But just like all other branches, there are successes, but there's work to be done. At least in our favor, 15 years down the line, we still have a bicameral Parliament. 15 years down the line, we've held elections regularly. We are still able to vet. We are even able to impeach, as we recently did. So at least it is there.
You know, truth of the matter is that it is normally very difficult to even give this government and these politicians a benefit of doubt. It is very difficult, especially the executive. We have the executive and the judiciary, the legislature. It's very difficult. Let us leave alone let us take out the judiciary out of this. We have got the legislature and the executive. It is very difficult to give it a benefit of doubt. You know, right now I'm seeing that William Ruto wants to drag the judiciary into this matter, the matter of corruption, which seriously, I don't think that the judiciary is supposed to be dragged in this matter. Because judiciary is a body on its own. That's the same way the legislature is, and the same way executive is. But then, before we get deeper into this discussion, because I've had we have a lot of things to discuss on this. Today, Kenya was marking Katiba 15 years of after the 15 years after the Constitution, which was made in 2010. August 25th, 2010. So today was the 15th year, and it happened pale KICC, which had got a lot of there were a lot of things that happened. You know, watu Raila Odinga kusema, and for the first time since Raila Odinga joined William Ruto, this is one of the things that as I personally can say that he has said, Yaman, that we have a lot of counties, and these counties are doing nothing. Of course, we know very well that Kitambo, before the counties, we had got what was called provinces. We had got 8 provinces. Imagine the whole of Kenya had got only 8 provinces. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know how they came to what came into their minds and say that every tribe must have its county, because that is what is normally happening. Angalia, Luos wakona in fact Luo Nyanza iko na how many counties? Nyanza iko na Kisumu, Nyanza iko na Homa Bay, Nyanza iko na Siaya. How many counties in Nyanza? 3. Kisumu, Homa Bay, Siaya. That is Nyanza. And then tuende Western. Western iko na ngapi? Iko na Kakamega, iko na Trans Nzoia, and then iko na Busia. Are you seeing? So in short, let's calculate every province Kitambo iko na kama si 4, 5, 3 counties. Imeongeza tu budget. Na hapo ndio unakuja unapata kwamba a lot of money is hapo ndio pesa mingi inapotea. Now that on aside, I want us to listen to Raila speaking, and then we talk about this.
I believe the articles introduced in the Constitution to strengthen the provincial administration need to be reviewed, the view to abolishing the system. This was an issue at Bomas of Kenya, the provincial administration, and we said it was a relic of colonialism that has no place in independent Kenya, yet we seem to be reviving it. We equally need a review of all the laws that create national institutions and funds for functions better performed by county governments. We are not opposed to implementing projects at the constituency. But under this constitution, constituency is not a devolved unit. The evolution has 2 levels, national and county levels. It is not right for the national government to jump the county government and create another unit below the county government where you call it NG. It is not necessary to work through the county government. The money that we are giving to these people to go and implement projects at the constituency give it to the counties. The county be the ones implementing, and let Parliament do what is constitutionally mandated to do: representation, legislation, and oversight. Because if you are yourself a contractor and you are a member of Parliament, who is oversighting you? I've said this amendment that you're about to call the Parliament, bring it there, but let us take it to the people. Let us take it to a referendum and test if the people will accept it. Let us check if the people will accept that members of Parliament can be oversighting and also implementing at the same time. Over this, there's no compromise. Tunaenda kwa wananchi. So, Your Excellency, I know that this particular stand is making me very unpopular, but I just don't care. I will stand my ground on this particular issue. With those many remarks, thank you very much. Happy Katiba Day.
So according to Raila Odinga is saying that it's not bad, but now why can't we reduce these counties? Why can't we reduce the number? Of course, I agree with that. Why can't we reduce this number of counties? Because we have too many counties. And these counties, they're doing nothing. Pesa inapotea mingi. Why can't we reduce this number of counties? Na tukue na, turudi, ikiwezekana basi turudi kwa zile provinces. And then we make sure that pesa inafikia wananchi. Because imagine county moja iko na member pale, iko na governor, iko na deputy governor. Iko na senator, tutoe senators. County moja iko na governor na deputy governor. Iko na members of parliament. Because remember, lazima county iko na constituencies. So iko na members of parliament, not just a member, but members of parliament. How many members of parliament do we have in a constituency or in a county? 4, 5, maybe 4, 5, 6. Under every member of parliament or under every constituency, kuna ward. How many wards do we have in a constituency? Very many. So unaona hiyo venye pesa, are you saying venye pesa inapotea? So that is what is happening. That is exactly what is happening. So if this thing can be reduced, then hii number of corruption ya watu wanazungumza na, because I'm failing to understand why every day we wake up in the morning we talk about corruption. Now, let me just read for you what William Ruto is saying. William Ruto is blaming now the judiciary by saying that the judiciary must confront corruption within its own rank. I am aware of the vigorous and often unsettling conversations around terms like jury pesa. If the institution mandated to dispense justice is perceived as corrupt, it is not only erodes confidence but also undermines the very constitution it is sworn to protect. The judiciary must rise to its highest calling to cleanse itself, upholds its independence with the integrity, and prove itself the true temple of justice for Kenyans.
The judiciary must confront corruption within its own ranks. I am aware of the vigorous and often unsettling conversation around terms like jury pesa. As painful as this may be, they cannot be ignored. If the institution mandated to dispense justice is perceived as corrupt, it not only erodes confidence, but undermines the very constitution it is sworn to protect. The judiciary must rise to its highest calling to cleanse itself, uphold its independence with integrity, and prove itself the true temple of justice for all Kenyans. My administration, at the request of the judiciary, has provided resources for the hiring of additional judicial officers, especially judges. So far, in 3 years, we have appointed and I have sworn in 47 judges. Another 50 are being recruited as we talk. That will make it 97 judges in 3 years. No other administration has provided such kind of human capital to support our judiciary. It's paid for by the people of Kenya, and it's right for us, as the people of Kenya, to demand expeditious justice to those who come before our courts.
Now I have a question to ask. Ruto is talking about the judiciary. The same judiciary that is talking about ni ile judiciary ambayo amenyakua. That judiciary cannot do anything without him being aware. I want us to listen to him. So that is William Ruto. You know, corruption has been the talk of town. Lately, imekuwa to corruption. We really need to stop being mere of words. Why can't you take actions? Because, okay, we're talking about corruption without getting deeper into getting its root. Who are the real culprits of corruption? We talk about corruption. Who are the real culprits? Do you really have the culprits? Okay, what is it that needs to be done to these culprits? Tuache kuzungumza kuhusu corruption kila wakati, corruption 1, corruption 2, but there is nothing constructive that we are doing to make sure that the issue of corruption we deal now once and for all. Because I think that is what is needed. Because we don't have, if we keep on talking about corruption every now and then we don't have any moral authority to talk about corruption. You don't have any moral authority to talk about corruption kama wewe mwenyewe ndio unaongoza this corruption. And then you are blaming the judiciary. There is nothing that the judiciary has done. Imagine we had got Nelson and Ahmed Nasir Law. Those guys, remember when Nelson Havi alikuwa anasema kwamba mara judiciary sijui imefanya nini. So right now ndio tunakuja kujulikana kwamba these guys were William Ruto's dogs. They were just begging. They were just walikuwa na bweka tu kukuonyesha kwamba there is somebody behind this thing. So we really need to stop these things every now and then, blaming the judiciary. Mara judiciary imefanya hii, mara judiciary imefanya that. It's time we solve these matters once and for all. Because if William Ruto can tell us that it is a fact that corruption exists in all arms of the government and poses a serious challenge, I have always reiterated my resolve to serve as a responsible steward of public resources. There is still much more to be done to combat corruption within the executive. I, William Ruto, President of Kenya, fully support the rigorous and expeditious prosecution of any corruption cases backed by evidence. This is the only way to restore trust, uphold constitution, and assure Kenyans that no office, no title, no individual is above the law.
The job of mobilizing resources is a very difficult job. As I mobilize resources nationally, I also want you to work with me and to assist me to mobilize resources at the county. Don't leave the business of mobilizing resources to me. Because in the process of trying to mobilize resources so that I can transfer more to the counties, I have acquired names, including Sakayo, and you know it. And I know no county governor wants to raise resources locally, although the law now exists for own source revenue. I would want to ask of you, governors, please, even as you urge me to transfer more resources, because I have to mobilize, also look at the opportunity to mobilize resources locally. Even if you are called Sakayo at the county, it will not make any difference. It is still okay.
That is William Ruto. That is our president. He is the one that is saying those things. That amekubali kabisa yes kuna corruption, but now being that yeye ni president anasema kwamba nobody is above the law. Okay, nobody is above the law. Are you you not among the people that are really pressurizing this? Because you at one point you are telling us that the legislature. Sasa umejua hapa sijasikia hata kuzungumza kuhusu legislature, the members of parliament. And remember the last time he accused members of parliament of receiving 150 million. So where is the truth? Like actually, I'm trying to ask to find out where is the truth. Hii ukweli na where is it lying? Hii ukweli iko wapi? Hii ukweli yote iko wapi? Mr. President. So in other words, we are being told here. In other words, we are being told here that all these things that we are seeing happening, you know, watu kulaumiwa, mara having a Katiba, all these Katiba days and all that. So hizi ni bure tu. Because bado tutarudi tu pale pale kwa wizi. If we can't control what is happening, if William Ruto can't control what is happening in the executive, then he has got no moral authority to talk about the judiciary, because once interfere na there is, I personally believe that hakuna corruption yote yenye inaendelea pale kwa judiciary. I don't know, maybe there is, but I feel like there is no corruption in the judiciary. It's only that kuna pressure yule mkubwa anataka kufinyilia wale wadogo. Na wale wadogo wakizungumza ndio unakuja unapata kwamba sawa wanaanza kulaumiwa. That is normally, that is how these things normally work. If we can't do what you want, then you start blaming us that we are not doing what is right or what is needed. Suppose we accept now to do what you want, there will be no corruption. And I normally say that corruption is normally corruption when you are not involved or when you are not included. For instance, if Raila Odinga is not working with William Ruto, then Raila Odinga will be saying that William Ruto is corrupt, especially if there is money that is inapotea. But if Raila Odinga is working with William Ruto, watakuwa nasema kwamba everything is moving on well. But okay, tuseme kwa mfano hii ya Sakaja na no Sakaja, hii mambo na 150 million. Hii 150 million, yesterday there is something that Rigathi Gachagua said, I will talk about that tomorrow. That William Ruto is, in fact William Ruto asked the members of parliament that, did you receive the 10 million Kenya shillings? And then the members of parliament said no. So in other words, he wanted to confirm, I gave out the money for 1, 2, 3 things to be done. Did you receive it? He just wanted to confirm. Si ati alikuwa alikuwa na accuse, he wanted to confirm that the money that I issued, was it received? If yes, did it do what it was supposed to do? If no, then where did the money go? As simple as that. And we also had one of the members of parliament during that debate saying that Kimani Chungwa should tell us whether he was given the money or not. So hii kitu ina circulate tu hapa. Mambo na corruption iko tu hapa tu kwa watu. Hii corruption iko tu hapa, inazunguka tu hapa. Hapa na pale inazunguka tu hivi. Haitawaisha. Personally, I believe that corruption will never come to an end. It will not end. Corruption will not end. Not unless these guys now decide that hii kitu itaisha. And the best way to end these things, I feel like the best way to end this thing is ikifika 2027, let us deal with all these people. Tuwaambie ya kwamba we need a fresh blood. Because you can't tell me that hata wale wenye kwa opposition wako better. They're not. Even those who are in opposition are not better than those who are in government, because they were once holding offices. Now we should start asking that when you are holding offices, what did you do? Did you perform your duty perfectly? If yes, then tell us what is it that you want to come and do different from what you did, or what is it, if maybe there is something that you did and you didn't accomplish. Tell us that mkimilipa nafasi, I'm going to do this. But if you are holding an office, you performed poorly, and then now you are joining hands again with people who want to come in claiming that you want to go back to that office to do nothing again, then we are not moving. Instead of moving forward, we are moving backward. Because ni kama umetoka ofisini hakuna kitu umefanya. And then umesikia kuna nafasi nyingine tena kwa hapo tu, na unakuja na umefukuzwa kwa sababu hakuna kazi umefanya, and then unakuja unasema kwamba mnipe nafasi niende nikaperform. And then because we are stupid, we are again giving you opportunity to come and serve the same office, doing the same thing that you did last time. So it's like you are dragging us behind. So I think the best thing to do is ask ourselves that this thing that is happening, is it what we want? If it is not what we want, then what do we want? Then if this is what we want and we know that this is what we want, who and how are we supposed to get where we are or to get where we want to be? As simple as that. And I think by doing that, we will have solved a lot of problems. So we solve a lot of issues, a lot of problems here and there to prevent all these issues, a lot of things. After all, guys, that is just my thought, and that is all I have for now. As far as Katiba 15, Katiba ya 15 is concerned, and the issue of Katiba Day is concerned. Let me know what you think at the comment section.
I am the first to concede, and I've said this and I've conceded it in public, that I don't think we are doing well in Parliament, especially the 13th Parliament. I am not here to apologize. But just like all other branches, there are successes, but there's work to be done. At least in our favor, 15 years down the line, we still have a bicameral Parliament. 15 years down the line, we've held elections regularly. We are still able to vet. We are even able to impeach, as we recently did. So at least it is there. But there are two problems that I see. One is historical and one is institutional. The historical one, Chair, you will remember, is the problem between the National Assembly and the Senate. In the Committee of Experts, we had designated the Senate as the upper house. You who were in Parliament then decided that we did not need a Senate and removed it. When it came to us, given the historical experience that we had in this country, we decided we needed a Senate at least to protect devolution. So unfortunately, all the powers we had given to the Senate were removed, and we left the Senate with a threadbare role of protecting devolution and taking care of the interest of the devolved units. Very little. And ultimately, therefore, with the subsequent interpretations by the Supreme Court and all, there remains sibling rivalry between the Senate and the National Assembly, and sometimes it becomes a problem for Parliament as Parliament. That is historical. The institutional one is one of our creation, and it was created before I joined Parliament. We changed, the Committee of Experts had proposed a parliamentary system. Members of Parliament, in their wisdom, in Naivasha, changed it to a presidential system. And so we had to make things to adopt to that presidential system. Whatever we made to adopt to the presidential system does not seem to have been reflected in the structure of politics. So that what we have now is you have members of Parliament from the party that is in the executive, and because they are the majority in Parliament, they call themselves government. You have members of Parliament from the minority who call themselves opposition. Members of Parliament are yet to learn that there is no government or opposition inside of Parliament. There is only the majority and the minority, and collectively we are supposed to oversight the executive. That we have not learned, and it's something we struggle with, and that's part of the problem. I think moving forward, there are things to be done. One, if Parliament must seriously work on the trust deficit that we currently have. But secondly, and Njoki talked about judicial overreach, we had a colloquium with the Judiciary recently, and I made the proposition that while the Judiciary is free to handle Parliament in any way, especially when it's doing a quasi-judicial duty, please let Parliament handle legislation, because there are inbuilt mechanisms. You can find us wrong later. But lastly, from the executive perspective, it must also reduce its chokehold on Parliament. Kidogo tu, then we'll be able to move forward. Thank you very much.